Welcome back, dear students. So today we are starting with the first chapter of our paper, that is ecological tools and techniques. And today I am starting with the first topic of this chapter, that is sampling method. So let's move. What is meant by tools and techniques, or what is the need of tools and techniques in ecology? In the previous class, you have seen that what is meant by population, community, ecosystem, biosphere, etc. For the proper understanding of these terminologies like population, communities, and ecosystem, we are generally adopting certain tools as well as certain methodologies. That is called the tools and techniques employed in ecology. For example, let's assume that this is a garden. In this garden, you can see different kinds of insects, right? Butterfly is there, dragonfly is there, honeybee is there, beetles is there, caterpillar is there, ant is there, then snail and other organism different are there. Here, if you are analyzing the population of a butterfly only, so what will you do? We will calculate the number of butterflies in that particular garden, right? So for analyzing, actually this will be a time consuming process. For analyzing this population of this particular butterfly or butterflies in this population, we are using the tools as well as the technique used in ecology. Okay, so for the proper understanding of this kinds of terminologies, we are using this technique. Okay. In the case of plants as well as animals, we are using different kinds of estimation methods. As we know that the plants are stationary organisms, we are using two different methods. In the case of smaller plants, we are using quadrant method, while in the case of larger trees, we are directly counting the number. While in the case of animals, we know that they are mobile organisms. So, in the case of smaller organisms, we are using sampling. Different kinds of sampling methods are there that we will discuss later. And also, for larger organisms, we are directly counting, just like in plants. Okay. Then, I told you that in the case of plants, we are using the method called quadrant. So, what does mean by quadrant? Here you can see in this picture, this is a quadrant. This quadrant is a rectangular shaped structure and it consisting of several equally sized squares are there. Okay, so what we are doing in this method is that we are throw this quadrant or this particular apparatus repeatedly into the field. Okay, and we are counting the number of organisms in each square. Here you can see that there are different kinds of squares. Here some of the squares are occupied by certain flowers, but some squares are not occupied by any type of organism or any flowers. Here it's very the number of flowers. Here there is no flowers. Here is also there is no, but here you can see two, then one. Here is one. Here is one. Right. So in this method we are counting the number of plants. Okay. This is called the quadrant method, and whenever first row is over, we are again repeatedly throw this quadrant into the field for the second time, and we are repeating the experiment for more and more time, and we are calculating the average number of organisms, or we are analyzing the number of organisms in that particular area by this method. How? We are calculating the average number of organisms and multiply this with the area of quadrant. Here, this quadrant is having a unique area. Okay, and it will be a fixed value, and we are calculating this fixed value or area of quadrant with the number of organisms, or here in the number of flowers that we got by this quadrant method. And from this method, we can clear or we can understand how many flowers, here in this case, how many flowers are there in this particular field. So this is called a quadrant method. This is a person who is counting by means of quadrant method. Here you can see that this is a square. As in this picture, here he is analyzing all of these one square. In this one square, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4 crabs are there. Out of this 4, there are another 4 crabs are there. What is the peculiarities of this 2 crabs? This crab is one of the crab is moving out, while this crab is moving in. So we can take this crab for our counting, but here it is mostly out. We cannot take this particular crab. So in this method, we are counting the number of organisms by quadrant method. I hope you understood. Then capture-recapture method. This is generally applicable to mobile organisms, just like animals. We know that mobile organisms are animals, so this is applicable to animals or moving objects. How we can determine the population size? This is done by means of various steps. They are capture large as possible. We are calculating, we have to capture the group or the concerned group of interest that we want to study into maximum numbers and tag them or mark them, and we have to release the marked individuals into the field. Then in the very next day we have to capture the second sample and we have to count the number of already tagged individuals. For more clearly, I will explain with an diagram. Here you can see that, here you can see there are 10 tortoises are there. In the first day, we are collecting 10 tortoises and we are marked them. Okay. In the second day, and these marked individuals are then released into the field. So this is the first step. We are collecting 10 tortoises, and this is the second stage, that is we are tagging them. And in the second day, this is the third stage, that is we are releasing them into the field. Okay. And this is the fourth stage, that is counting the number of already. So in the second day, we got only 5 marked tortoises from the marked individuals that we done in the previous day. The first day we have marked 10 tortoises, but in the next day we got only 5 marked tortoises. So how can we calculate the population size? Number in the first sample, that is 10, into number in second sample, that is here also it is 10, divided by number in the second sample which is previously marked. In the second sample we get only 5 tortoises. So 10 into 10 divided by 5. 5 is the recapture of the previously marked one. So we will get 20. So this will be the population size of this particular tortoise population. Right? Then what is meant by sampling? Sampling is generally done in animal population. Sampling is a method of selection of a representative subset from a whole population, and the subset is called a sample. Here you can see that in this lions population, there are 3 different kinds of population. A lion population is there, a tortoise population is there, and a rabbit population. Here you can see there are 60 number of lions in this population. Here you can see 30 number of tortoises in the second population. Here you can see 10 number of rabbits are found in rabbit population. So from this, we are selecting only 6 lions from the lion population. So this is the sample of lion population. Here we are selecting only 1 tortoise. So 1 will be the sample size of the tortoise population. Here you are selecting only 3 rabbits from this rabbit population. So here the sample size is 3. So these values are called statistical values. From this analysis of a sampling of a particular animal population, we get some values. So this is called as statistical values. And from this analysis, we will get a conclusion that more number of population is found in lion, which is followed by tortoises and which is followed by rabbits. So this conclusion is called a statistical inference. Okay. And for what we are using the sampling? For studying the distribution as well as the numerical abundance of the population, we are using sampling method, right? What are the different types of sampling? Random sampling, non-random sampling, systematic sampling and cluster sampling are the most common type of sampling method we are quite using. What is meant by random sampling? It is a common method of sampling. This is also called a chance or probability sampling, which is indicating that all members of the population is having an equal chance of being selected, right? And they are classified into 4 different types: a simple, a stratified, systemic, and a cluster sampling. So let's know what does mean by random sampling and what are the different categories. Simple random sampling, as per the definition of random sampling, all the members of the population is having an equal chance of being selected. For example, this is a population of 12 individuals. Here, we are randomly selecting certain individuals. For example, 3, here it is 5, and here it is 11. We are randomly selecting these 3 individuals from this whole population. So, this 3, 5, and 11 represent the sample of this population. And if you are estimating this sampling by means of random sampling, you can select this 2, then 7, 9, etc. We are without any particular criteria. We are just selecting an individual from the whole population. This is called a simple random sampling. And this simple random sampling, what is the peculiarity is that each individual of this population is having an equal chance of being selected, right? This is called a simple random sampling. And there is another example. It is called a population of 50. We are considering the population of 50 states and we are randomly selecting 3 pupils from each state. So what will be the sample size? 50 into 3, that is 150. 150 individuals will be the sample size of the whole population of 50 states. And what is the peculiarity? Each individuals have the equal chance of being selected. Then stratified sampling. This is another field of sampling. Here we are dividing the whole population to different strata like strata 1, strata 2, strata 3. Here it is 9 individuals are there. We are differentiating them with the strata 1 with the 3. Strata 1 with the 3, strata 2 with the 3 and strata 3 with the 3 individuals. And we are randomly selecting certain individuals from this strata 1, strata 2 and strata 3. And this will represent the sample. Here the population, here each individuals in the strata is having an equal chance. Here there is no chance of whole individuals, but certain individuals from each strata is having a chance of being selected. This is called a stratified sampling. So can we differentiate the simple random sampling with the stratified? Here you can see that there are 18 individuals are there. Here we are, in the case of simple random sampling, we are randomly selecting certain individuals from this 18 people. And in this stratified random sampling, we are dividing this 18 people into 2 different strata. One strata with 9 people and another strata with 9 people. And from each strata, we are selecting certain individuals. So this is the main difference between simple random sampling and stratified random sampling. Then what is meant by systematic sampling? Here the population is classified on the basis of certain criteria. Here you can see that out of the 10 people, every second person is systematically selected, right? Here it is 2, then 4, then 6, 8 and 10. Actually the population is first organized into certain criteria and then we are selecting certain individuals randomly. This is called a systemic sampling, right? Then cluster sampling. This is also another kind of sampling. Here we are dividing the population to different clusters and certain clusters are we are selecting. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clusters are we are selecting third cluster and sixth cluster. So each individual from the cluster is also having the